Special thanks to Michael from Austria for sponsoring this video. He sponsored the travel and the translation for us to go to Ramallah to ask a lot of your questions. If anyone would like to sponsor the travel, come with me, sponsor translation, please be in touch. We'd love to have you. Can you think of a creative solution for the refugees?
Creative solution?
Yeah.
We have so many solutions about the refugees because the refugees have a place in Palestine. You should all the refugees back in this place, in the original place. I think so.
If let's say that can't happen.
Can happen.
Yeah. What's another solution?
We have so many places in Palestine. We have so many places, but in Palestine, inside in Palestine.
Are we talking about West Bank Palestine or 48 Palestine?
No, all the Palestine.
All of Palestine.
I don't have this.
You don't see a difference.
This part, yeah.
Okay, but let's say, because Israel won't agree to it, and the international community probably won't agree to it either. So, what's another solution?
Another solution. We need this. I think so. That's my opinion. I think so. We need someone leader to judge what really happened in this refugees. But in my opinion, I think so. My one solution back in Palestine. That's
so they have to go back to the original place.
هل ممكن تفكري في حل خلاق أو مبتكر لحل قضية اللاجئين أو لحل مشكلة اللاجئين الفلسطينيين؟
Maybe give him new land to live in him and homes.
Okay, where?
New land in Palestine.
In Palestine.
Yes.
Like maybe between, like if you go between Nablus and Jenin, there's lots of land there. I noticed. So maybe there, make cities.
Maybe.
Okay. Adam from Dehesha. Who's a refugee. Can you think of a creative solution to the refugee issue?
The refugee issue?
Yeah, a creative solution.
Union?
What? A union? What?
Yeah.
Between what? Israel and Palestine?
No.
What do you mean?
Between Palestinians.
Okay. Oh, unity between Palestinians.
Unity between Palestinians.
To do what? How does that solve the refugee issue?
What?
How does that solve the refugee issue?
We could make a union between each other as Palestinians, all of us, to just say attack the occupation that kicked our grandparents from their countries. Yeah,
Wait,
like
when you talk about the occupation, do you mean the occupation of 1948, the occupation of 1967?
1948, 1967,
Okay.
all of those.
So no, we're talking about solutions for the refugees. Internationally, they want to find a way for refugees to live in peace. But with Israelis and Palestinians.
I'm not with them.
Why?
Because I'm as a Palestinian, I have a right, and they took my right to live in, they took my country, they took my village, they kicked my grandparents out from their countries. My cousin, my uncle is a murderer.
But can we find
all of those things can make me hate them.
Can't you find a solution where everyone is allowed to live in peace and you still get something of what you want?
What? Repeat it.
Can't you find a solution where Israelis and Palestinians can live in peace?
No, they can't. We cannot live in peace with them. No, it's impossible. We cannot live in peace with them.
Okay.
I'm not a hater.
You're not a hater.
They are the haters.
No, but you're telling me. Hold on.
As a reflection of their hate, I'm just hating them.
But if
because
the person,
their actions, look at their actions. They get kicked out from our countries at 1948.
let's say they hold on. Let's say they apologize. They apologize for all that. Can you live in peace with them?
It's not enough.
So what is enough? What do you need to live in peace with them?
Took back our country, Palestine.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen.
Then under our conditions as a Palestinians, we can just say to them that you can stay here, but we are the controller.
Palestinian refugees. Can you think of a creative solution
Creative solution?
to the Palestinian refugees?
It's all about hope.
What's the solution though? What's the solution that's different than maybe people didn't think about before?
There is not solution, a good solution for them. They need just a good life. They need a good community, a good place, a good homes. We need a place to live in a good area, something like this.
So if let's say people put a lot of money and a good economy for the refugee camps so they could build bigger homes, they could have a better life, would that be enough? Would that solve the problem?
It's help. It's not all the problem. There's a lot of problem, but it's help.
What would solve the problem?
There is a lot of things. It's not one thing.
Like what? Give me examples.
It's about learning, education. It's about health. It's about everything, food, everything.
Okay. Is he a refugee?
هل أنت لاجئ?
No.
No,
لا.
he's not.
Okay. Can you think of a creative solution for Palestinian refugees?
هل بتستطيع تفكر بحل مبتكر أو خلاق؟ They're just gonna lower the music. هل ممكن تفكر بحل خلاق لمسألة اللاجئين أو لمشكلة اللاجئين، قضية اللاجئين؟
ما بعرفش صراحة إنه قضية اللاجئين هاي قضية صارت من زمان.
The issue of the refugees is something that's been going on for a long time.
وإنه إحنا لازم نساعد يعني إنه أوكي نعمل سلام مع الإسرائيليين أو إشي، بس بنفس الوقت لازم يكون الجانب تبعنا للاجئين بحيث إنه نساعدهم بأي وسيلة إنهم يدخلوا بلادهم يرجعوا لدورهم. طبعا ضل منها القليل من دورهم، الكل انهدم.
Can they come back to the West Bank? Would that be okay?
هل باستطاعة اللاجئين يرجعوا على الضفة الغربية؟ هل هذا كويس الحل؟
And compensation?
ويعني يرجعوا على الضفة الغربية وياخذوا تعويض، ايش رأيك بهذا الحل؟
طبعا اللاجئين الأصليين اللي هم الختايرة اللي طلعوا بالفعل من دورهم ما ضلش منهم حدا كثير، بس طبعا بتكون راحة نفسية إلهم أكيد، يعني إنه مثلا لختيارة ماسكة المفتاح لليوم، لختيار نفس الإشي. طبعا اللي ضلوا ببلاد برا أو بالدول الشقيقة هم كلها قليلة من اللاجئين اللي طلعوا بالفعل من عنا، الكل أحفادهم، حتى مش أولادهم أحفادهم اللي ضلوا. طبعا بتكون راحة نفسية، يعني الواحد منا إذا كان بالأردن أو حتى ببيت لحمه بده يروح على البلدة اللي هو عايش فيها برتاح نفسيته. كيف واحد ما شافش بلده بس بسمع عنها انه يدخلها، اكيد بتكون لهم راحه نفسيه كبيره.
Can you think of a creative solution to the Palestinian refugees?
Well, maybe because خليني احكي بالعربي. Maybe can I speak in Arabic?
Of course, yes.
Okay. بصراحة يعني وضع اللاجئين وضع مأساوي.
The refugee situation is very catastrophic.
الحل الوحيد إنه
The only solution
إنك تسأل الريفيجي نفسه، لأنه هو
the
رح
solution is to ask a refugee himself.
لأنه هو الوحيد القادر هو اللي عايش الوضع، هو رح يعطيكي، ما رح يقدر يتنازل عن أرضه أو يقبل بالتعويض.
Because the refugee is the person who would not compromise, who would not give up his land.
So we would have to ask each refugee if he's willing to compromise, to do, let's say, to move here or to create a new city for refugees in the West Bank.
The West Bank maybe بس شوفي نفس الوضع نفسه اللي بيصير في 48 واللي بيصير هلا، اللي في 8 العرب الداخل
at what's happening in the West Bank and in the 1948 areas.
ناس لهلا لهم بيوت فيها فما بيقدروا يوصلوها او حيفا وما بيقبلوا الا لترجع اراضيهم. بلا نستبعد
هذول اللاجئين اللي برا عايشين.
اللي هون
في
العروب اللي هم مش مناطق
في and also outside of Palestine who have homes on the coast like in Jaffa and in Haifa. They have homes there and they refuse to go back to anywhere but these homes, to their original homes.
But if Israel will never agree and the world won't agree,
there is no compromising here.
There's no compromising? Then you'll always be at war, no?
بالضبط هذا هو يعني ليش اسرائيل انها رح تقبل انه الوضع ينفرض علينا انه نعيش في احنا مدن غير مدننا وهي في المقابل ما بتتنازل.
Why is it okay for Israel to agree and to allow for their citizens
and for itself to exist in the cities that they want, but they don't want us to live and be where we want.
But that's what happened in every war. Every war was like that.
everywhere بس الوار اللي احنا عايشين فيها مش نفس الاشي يعني
But
انا هلا اذا بدي اروح على بلدي
it's not the same thing. If I want to go to my original city or
بدي
village,
تصريح من اسرائيل ولا بدي يمكن يسمحوا لي.
I need a permit from Israel and they might allow me to go there.
Are you a refugee?
No.
Okay, just checking.
هل باستطاعتك تفكر بحل خلاق لقضية اللاجئين الفلسطينيين؟ هيك حل خلاق مبتكر.
يعني ما هو المشكلة احنا المسؤولين احنا ما بنقدر نسوي شيء هو المفروض يكون كل شيء متوفر بس طبعا هذا شغل المسؤولين
Of those who are responsible or the leaders, there's nothing that we can do.
But an idea that he can come up with that nobody thought of.
مثلا فكرة ما حداش فكر فيها يعني لحل المشكلة أو لحل قضية اللاجئين.
صدقي ما يعني زي ما بيقولوا انا فيك شيء يعني ما بتدخلش.
To be honest, I don't
مش
know and I don't
انه يعني
intervene.
بحطوا في الأخبار وحلوا
it's not
محل ما
that I
فيش
don't know.
حل لحد اليوم.
They keep talking about it in the news and so far they keep talking about it in the news and so far there is no solution to the
بحطوا في
issue.
الأخبار إنه يحلوا المشكلة وهذا بس ما.
They keep talking about wanting to solve it but there is just no solution so far. ماشي.
ولازم ضروري طبعا يسووا حل
course
لأنه
it's
عدد
very
كبير
important
وعالم فقري
to find a solution because it's a large number of people and they are poor and they have many needs. أو هل تقدروا تفكروا في حل مبتكر أو حل لمسألة أو لقضية اللاجئين الفلسطينيين؟ هل في بالكم حل لقضية اللاجئين؟
صراحة مش لهم حل يعني صراحة في وقتنا هذا.
Honestly, there is no solution for them in our time.
لا وهو الاحتلال موجود مش راح نحل يعني.
As long as the occupation is existing, their issue or cause will not be solved.
67 occupation or 48 occupation?
أنو احتلال فيهم 67 ولا احتلال 48؟
67 هنا في الضفة.
67 the 1967 occupation.
Okay.
The one we have in the West Bank.
So what if the 67 occupation ended and there was a Palestinian state here, could all the refugees come back here to 67 borders?
Right. إذا احتلال 67 راح انتهى. Can the refugees come back?
Back to here, 67 borders.
إذا الاحتلال طلع من حدود 67 هل بيقدروا اللاجئين يرجعوا على هون؟
طبعا احنا مثلا في احتلال 67 نقدر ناخذ تصريح نطلع على احتلال 48 نطلع بس هم ما بدهم تصريح بيقدروا يجوا فممكن لو طلع والضفة صارت بدون اي شيء بيقدروا يجي يسكنوا عندنا طبيعي بس احتلال 48 برضه لازم يطلع مش راح يطلع 67 و 48 رح يضل اثنين رح يطلعوا مع بعض يا اما ما يطلعوش مش رح
So both the occupied areas have to be freed because us people who live in 1967 areas we can get permits to go into 1948 areas but the refugees who are living outside can't so they would have to be able to go back to both areas the 48 and the 67 but both areas need to be freed. هل ممكن تعطيني حل مبتكر عشان اللاجئين الفلسطينيين؟ كيف ممكن أنت تحلي مشكلة اللاجئين الفلسطينيين؟ How would you solve the problem of the Palestinian refugees? And I said problem, although it's not part of the question.
حل لاجئين فلسطين مش بإيدي ولا بإيدك ولا بإيد حدا.
Solving the refugee issue is not something in my hand or in your hands.
أي أنا ممكن أساعدهم بطريقة اعتصام.
But I could help them by going into administration or with a stand-in and standing next to them, supporting them.
يعني أنت شايف الشعب كل ما واقف مع اللاجئين وإحنا مع العودة يرجعوا اللاجئين بس هو الحل مو بإيدنا يعني مهما حكينا.
لا طب إيش طب اخلقي لي حل مثلا. شو
حل
حل؟
إحنا نحل.
Then think of a
الشعب يحل.
Think of a solution.
إحنا الشعب نقدر نحلها.
كيف؟
هي بإيد الحكومات.
It's not something the people can solve.
بس
This is something in the hands of the government.
ممكن بأسلوبنا نقدر
But in our own methods or in our own ways.
نوقف جنبهم، نعمل اعتصام، نعمل عريضة، نعمل.
Be in a demonstration or
نمضي يعني.
Or like
عريضة ورقة.
Signing petitions.
If she was the leader of Palestine, what would she do?
نفترض أنت كنت رئيسة فلسطين، شو كنت تعملي؟
بضلني اناضل لا ما ارجعهم.
I would
ما
keep
قدرتش
struggling
احل.
and fighting until I bring them back.
So they return to
ما
the
قدرتش
original
أحل،
areas.
بلجأ للدول العربية.
If I can't solve this, if I can't bring them back, I would go to the Arab states.
Bring them back where? To the
وين-
original
وين
places or
ممكن
here to
نرجعهم؟
Hebron?
وين نرجعهم لاجئين؟ على
بلادنا هون ممكن احنا
على
الحل.
الخليل، على المحلات الثانية.
شوفي انا لو اني رئيسي بذهب اناضل بلجأ اذا ما حليتش بلجأ الايد حالها ما بتصفق بالمثل بقول هيك مزبوط. بلجأ لاي اي وسيله اني اذا اناضل اجيبهم.
I would struggle as a leader, and then if I can't do this by myself, I would go to the other Arab states because one hand cannot clap alone.
But return to where? That's the question. To their original
يرجعوا-
villages or
وين ارجعهم؟
anywhere?
هذا سؤالك وين ارجعهم؟
وين نرجعهم؟
يعني الحل الوحيد بدي لما بدي اناضل ارجعهم اول شيء على الثمانية هون عندنا في
First of all,
67.
first of all, bring them back to the 1967 lands.
بعدين ايش بقدر اني انسق
And
كيف
then
بدي
maybe I
ادخلهم
can
بلادهم.
coordinate how to get them into their lands or their cities
Original lands.
and villages. Yes.
لانه مستحيل اجيبهم وازتهم مستحيل مزبوط ولا؟
because it's impossible to just bring them and then just put them somewhere and leave them.
مستحيل.
It's
اما انا ممكن
impossible.
بدي اجيبهم بجيبهم عندي هون 67 ممكن اوفر لهم محلات.
Maybe I can bring them back to 1967.
هذا إذا أنا
I can
رئيسي.
provide areas for them or places for them. This is if I were a leader.
Guys, if you want to see more videos like these, please donate. I accept baked goods, free trips to Bora Bora, anything.